Hey, good evening, guys. Thank you so much for tuning tonight on the Prudential Show. I have a very special guest tonight. Her name is Gina Moigai. When I come back, I'm going to bring her so we can start with this broadcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you can help me share this video. When I come back, I'm going to bring my guest. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Hey, there she is. How you doing?
Hi, Georgie. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing fantastic. How you doing?
I am doing awesome. Thank you for
Alrighty.
having me.
Okay, thank you so much for coming yet again. I think this is your third time coming on the Prudential Show. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to come on this show for that time. The reason I invited you is because we are talking about a very good topic, whatever is going on surrounding us about COVID-19, this pandemic. I think many people, they have lost a job. Last time I checked, it was about 15% unemployment rate. So we're going to discuss about the tools that can be able to help our people to get back on the track, on the track, how to draft those resumes, how to look the jobs, the side hustles. We're going to talk about it. Before I go too far, I'm going to give you this chance to introduce yourself to the viewers who might not know you. Tell us where you are or where you based, your names, what you do for a living, and you can tell a little bit about your company that you founded a few years ago.
Okay, perfect. I hope I'm loud and clear. If
Yes,
you
you
guys
are.
can hear me, I would like for you to comment and I would be glad to adjust.
Last time I checked,
Yeah.
about 15. Yes, you can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, so my names are Gina Migai, like Georgie already said. And I'm a student currently pursuing my doctoral degree. And last time I was here, Georgia, I was like a year two graduation. And right now I'm like counting 3 months and I'll be done with it. So I'm very excited.
Yes.
And what I do for a living, what I'm very committed into doing is helping mostly minority workers with a major special focus to immigrant workers, Black immigrant workers, if I want to narrow it even down. Helping you guys, helping people to get good employment opportunities where I partner with people to help them build a successful career in America. Um, Throughout my work, I have helped people who are outside of America. So the advice, the help I provide is applicable anywhere, but the goal is to actually help our people. A lot of people have very valuable skill sets. They would be able to get better paying jobs, more fulfilling careers, but most of us do not even know where to start. We do not know how to go about it. And so that is how I step in and help people, like show you the direction, hold your hand, assist you through the job search and everything until the point where you get a good opportunity or a good job. You also think that I should talk about AfriMentor, right?
Yes. You can tell us about your company that you founded. Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, so the company is called AfriMentor Consulting Group. And the reason I founded AfriMentor is because when I came here with a bachelor's degree. I had a bachelor's degree from outside of America, even though it wasn't from Africa. I got it from Asia. And so when I came over here, I had a good education background, and then I realized that in America, I kind of have to start low, irrespective of my academic achievement, and I had a lot of struggle with that. And that is how I started to figure out, like, what can I do? Because when I looked around, I figured a lot of people, especially almost all African immigrants, ended up in the same path. You relocate to America, you have a good career background, but then you have to start from the scratch. So at that point, that's when I started looking for solutions to kind of change the story. So when I found the way, when I got myself into a company where I was the only Black person, I figured the gap that existed there, and therefore I was on a mission to help people. who are in the same position, who had good qualities, good skill sets, good education background, get in the position like I did. So that's how AfriMentor was birthed.
Oh my God, you have a very, a very good story, and is the story that should be shared, a story that should be told to every immigrant who is living here in the United States. Last time you were here, we talked about how to draft a resume. You came again, and the last time you were here, we talked about how you can package yourself to get the job. If you have a bachelor's degree, associate degree. Tonight, we are being faced with this invisible enemy, COVID-19. And last time I checked, unemployment rate was about 15%. We have about 30 million Americans who don't have jobs. And our people who are from Kenya, Kenyan immigrants who live in US, they are no exception. We have some people who have lost their jobs. And the reason we are here is just to kind of talk and discuss how we can be able to help these Kenyans, whether it's either look for their another career, whether it's either going back to school, whether it's about to sharpen their skills. And there are some talks or there are some things that I've seen on the internet. And I called you the other day and I told you, Gina, I need you to come on my show. We discuss about this. There is something called layoff. There are some people who are laid off. There are people who are, they are furloughed. And there are some people also who are like, they're terminated from their jobs. They cannot go back to those jobs. And that is what is called the reduction in force. And I want us right off the bat, if you can tell us how to differentiate. I know these terms are used interchangeably, like people, they just use the same 3 words, meaning the same thing. I want to walk us through what is the furlough, what is laid off, and what is reduction in labor. And the reason I'm saying this is because it's important. Maybe there's somebody out there who was told, okay, go back home, come back after 2 months. They went to the unemployment office. They can't qualify for the employment benefit because what is written on their paper, they're not really laid off. So I want to walk us through 3 topics here, or 3 terms here: a furlough, reduction in labor, and laid off. If you can just lay out for the viewers what it means before we even discuss what it entails.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, I do agree with you. Like currently, what we are experiencing today in 2020 with all the technology and everything that we do have, is like historical figures. There's no point in time that those of us who are alive, we have had to have this much of unemployment, So a lot of people are unemployed. A lot of people have cut their income, and everyone is kind of feeling the heat, whether you are on top, whether you are at the bottom. And so when it comes to those 3 terms, or the 3 questions that you asked, following is different from being laid off, and reduction in workforce can mean either or, and I will explain how. So following is where in the workforce, they want to reduce for a specified period of time. So when you're followed, you cannot follow someone. Following is when you ask your employees not to come to work for a specified period of time, but you're not letting them go like completely. You see? So it's like taking a little break, but you don't want to fire them. So they still have the employment benefits. They still have the insurance that comes with their job, but they are not getting paid. They are not getting any payment, or they are not getting a salary out of it. That period has got to be less than 1 year. So for those who own businesses, those who are employed, when you're getting furloughed, the longest they can go is 12 months, and then you have to go back to work. Okay, and at that point, you still have the benefits. You still keep your medical coverage and insurance and all of that. So that is following, and the reason they will do following is just to reduce the expenses. Because as we talk right now, as much as we are feeling the heat as the employees, the employers are feeling the same. They are not making money. They are struggling as well. And so if they want to keep you, if they want to have you as an employee, they don't want to let you go, but they cannot afford you right now for the next 2 months, what they will do, they will just follow you. Okay. And then when it comes to layoff, it's more like indefinite. They are letting you go. They are firing you. They are not giving you a return date. You do not have the benefits. You are not going to qualify for all of that. Now, when you're laid off, you are terminated. It's the end of the relationship between you and your employer. Both of them, when you're furloughed and when you are laid off, you can apply for unemployment. Even those who are furloughed, depending on the organization and the terms that you did agree with them, you can get your unemployment benefits when you are still furloughed, which is very easy to do. It takes less than like 8 days. Literally in a week, if you apply for unemployment, you would be able to get it. That is like the average amount of time that it takes for it to kick in, and you're gonna get paid every month. I mean every week. So there's payment that comes to you every week. When you're furloughed, the only catch is that you have got to lose money. That's what you have to lose because you're not getting any income. So you have to adjust with that. When you are laid off, that means you actually do not even have the benefit of having the medical cover. You are let go. You are completely disconnected with the organization. So you're just gone. That's the difference. Now, when it comes to reduction of workforce, you can choose how you want to reduce your workforce. Because the reason you want to reduce your workforce is because you cannot afford the expense of employees. Employees are usually the largest expense of whatever company or whatever organization there is, because there's all these salaries going out every month. So when a company cannot afford that, and it's because of an economic hardship that they foresee it's going to be lifted. So for instance, COVID-19, we are hoping it's not going to stay here forever. It's for a period of time. So if you have a company and you really know that after COVID and the lockdowns are over, you're going to be able to bounce back, you don't want to let go of employees who you value. You follow them. But if you feel you might not be able to get back, you just let them go by laying them off. Okay.
Wow.
You choose a battle. You choose how you want to reduce your workforce, if by letting go permanently or temporarily. And another thing to note, when you are furloughed, it does not mean you are going to come back, because they can choose to actually reduce the workforce further and just cut you out. So when you're furloughed, it doesn't mean you're safe. You are in a better place than someone who is laid off, but then you are still on the path to getting laid off.
Yeah, but Gina, like if I'm followed and I'm working for this company, and the only benefit that I'm getting is maybe insurance, coverage. What about my mortgage? And what advice would you give to somebody who's being followed and they don't have that mortgage or rent to pay? What is the best way to go here? Is it go to look for another job, or just to hang around there for 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, or even 2 years waiting for your employer to give you that call? If you're advising me as a Kenyan immigrant who have been followed, what is the best option right here?
So this is how I'm going to put it, right? I love to relate workforce with a regular type of love relationship.
Yes.
When you are let go, or when someone asks you for a break, you don't feel the relationship per se at this moment, you don't just put your life on the hold and then wait until they will feel it and then you come back. You kind of have to get your life going, okay? When you are furloughed, you're not guaranteed to come back. Your mortgage is going to sit there accumulating. As much as the government is stepping in to ask the organization, the corporations to not come and charge you and get you to pay on time and all of that, the truth is that the interest rate is still compounding. So you're just not paying, but interest rate is compounding, and you're going to kind of pay it at some point when you get back on your feet. So when you have been furloughed, one, there's a lot of people, and I don't blame anyone because we've never had to deal with this, in our lifetime. A lot of people do not get to understand the terms that we sign on the contract for employment, because when you get furloughed and you signed your contract precluding you from getting a job when you are under the furlough, you cannot get a job. But most of the time, most of the jobs, they do not require you to not get another job, especially in America, where you can have 3 jobs at a time, where bills are very high. So in most cases, whenever you get furloughed, I would advise you to get a part-time job, get a side hustle, figure out how to get an income, and better yet, start looking for a good position, a permanent job that you might not need to get furloughed.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm gonna speak these to specifically those people who live in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
because Texas, I don't know about Minnesota, where there is employment at will. That if we are actually followed, I don't think we can be able to look for another job, or maybe are you going to be violating employment at will? Because it says clearly, like the employment, they can fire you anytime they want to fire you, and you can quit your job anytime you want to quit your job. But I'm kind of curious, like how the follow work, because the employer is like, okay, you stay here, George, stay here, don't look for another job, a permanent job, like you just said, a part-time job. When I need you, I'll come and get you. But where's the line when it comes to the violation as an employee of the employment labor law? Like, where's the line? Because you might be violating employment at will.
Right. So, what I would advise, number one, when you get furloughed, please confirm with your employer if you can get a part time job, if you can look for another position. Because if you sign that you cannot, you might want to quit before you actually get to start another job. Okay. Another thing I want for us to think about, George, is that most of the time, you find that, especially we from Africa, for some reason, we tend to we discredit our own intuition or our own way of making decisions, and we put a lot of weight on what we hear, what we are told, what is fed to us. Okay, so for instance, let's say I've been followed, and I'm at home, I have my bills, I have all of these things to take care of. I do not feel guaranteed like I will be going back to my work. But because everyone is saying, oh, when you get furloughed, you kind of have to sit and wait it off for 6 months and blah, 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 file for unemployment. But deep down, I feel like this is not going to be working very well for me. But then I just sit down and do it because everyone else is saying that. Everyone else is doing that. We need to get to a point where we go by our intuition. You are able to like understand the state you are in and make a decision that is best for you, not what the government is saying. No, I don't mean that you break the law, but I mean like you take an action by following the law, but in a way that favors you. Kind of have to come first. So if you've been followed and you feel like this is not going to be a good fit, it's a job I never liked anyway, they undervalue me, they don't pay me enough, or you shouldn't sit down waiting for them to call you back, which they might not. Just let it go and look for a job that is a good fit for you. It's easier said than done when you know there's a lot going on, but at some point your gut feeling is always right.
Well, yeah, and we're talking that from an employee perspective. Let's
Correct.
switch gears a little bit and switch to the employer's perspective, because I know we have so many employers here, especially from Kenya. They
Mm-hmm.
own restaurants, they own this truck company, they own these adult family homes. What are they supposed to do to make sure they're not actually violating the federal labor laws? Like if you have to fire somebody and say, George, I need you to go and pick up something for me tomorrow, you have to pay them. And if they are exempt, non-exempt, you have to put it on the account, because you might actually be violating the labor law. Can you expand on that?
Right. Now that's another thing that, yeah, we actually kind of wing it. We kind of
Yes.
wing because we have the culture of winging things. But what I want to tell now the employers is that you are just one action away from getting sued and paying a whole lot of money. You're just one violation away from just your business being closed and everything frozen in your account and everything, right? So what you want to do, you just don't want to break any law at all. Like just don't break the law. If you need someone to pick a luggage or to pick a load, if you have a trucking business and you have followed that person, please let them know that you are seeking a volunteer. Because you can get furloughed, you can follow your employees. Before I even get there, let me just backtrack a little bit. Do not put yourself in a situation where you want to make your business work to a point where you are just running on fumes to just be going, to keep it running. You see, it is absolutely, totally okay to fail. It's totally okay to not achieve the goals that you had for 2020. It's totally okay to just let them go, you see? So what I am trying to say is that, and this applies even to those of us, for the employees, it's both for employer and employees, because there's a lot of pressure going on. The media is talking about the negative sides of the COVID and all of that. But the truth is that this thing just came, it's affecting our income, and money is just a tool for helping us achieve something. Money does not define us. Our careers do not define. My doctorate degree is not going to define me at any given point, you know? So when we know that what we are seeking is our own wellness, and then the money follows, then even the point of you thinking of violating is not going to be up on top of the list. Be very clear for what you want. Be very clear for what you do not want if you cannot figure what you want, right? If you want a person, an employee who you have followed because you cannot afford them, first of all, if you cannot afford them, just let them go, lay them off. You can furlough them. You can invite them to apply for the same position like 3 months later if you're able to afford them, if you let them go. Or you can always find a better employee. I know it's easier said than done, but you can always do that. Do not violate by making someone who is laid off, who has been furloughed, to come to work just because you need someone to just collect here and there for a moment, right? If you have to do that, just put it in writing. Write them an email like, hey, Gina, I would like for you to assist me. You're my employee, but right now you're furloughed. I need help. Would you be able to volunteer 3 hours of your time to go and pick that load for me with the truck and drop it here? Because you're allowed to volunteer. They are allowed to come and work, but then you cannot make them work without an agreement that they are not going to get paid, because that is going to take you to jail.
Wow. Very well expounded. I appreciate you for that. And I think what you're saying is, if you utilize your employee, pay them and have something in writing. Yes. And before we go too far, Gina, I think we have so many questions here on the chat box. If you can just take 3 or 4, and we can just answer them. So I'm gonna start here with Charles John Nyakure. He's saying, hi, George and Gina. Is one eligible to apply for unemployment on reduced hours when they also have side income from personal business? What do you say about that? And again, this is unemployment law, guys. Yeah, she right. She may be able to tell you about that. Yeah,
I would answer that if you want, if you allow me to answer in Swahili.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm gonna say, Charles Nyakure. I hope you understand Swahili. If you do not, I hope Georgie will call you later and explain to you. So I know my people, my followers are here, but those who follow me from all over the country, all over the world, I just want to let you know Georgie's show is mainly for Kenyans, so I will speak Kenyan, not to disrespect you, but to respect you so much. I've been invited here. Yes. So Charles kujibu swali yako. What I'm gonna say ni hivi. First of all, you understand, wewe na bizna. So Charles na bizna yake ama hiyo this income from a personal business, you two mko vitu mbili, entities mbili different, right? Income yako na ya biashara si the same. Hata ukizireport ukifanya nini, if right now biashara yako ina make pesa, you're getting income and all of that, venye unai present accountant unatumia vile ataweka expenses, unaweza make 10,000 na expenses zako ni 11,000, na haimaanishi unaiba. Legally at Warren Buffett they do that, right? So ukibalance vitabu zako za biashara, they should come down to hauna pesa inakuja kwako. Unacheki. So kama hauna pesa inakuja kwako, chenye umebaki nayo ni pesa yako yenye ni kidogo hako ka income na business numbers za hours zenye unafanya, then kulingana na kazi uko na state uko, loss zenye zina apply huko, unaweza utapata unemployment kidogo. But kama hours ni kidogo, I would ask boss wangu anifurlough, dawe nitakuwa followed, kwa sababu kama unafanya hours kidogo, and when you apply for unemployment, you might make more per week than what you will be making for the few hours utafanya kazi. So hiyo swali nitataka kuijibu hivyo, otherwise we can talk on the side.
Okay, I see what you did there. I think after this show, your next kid is gonna be a lawyer, because I see what you did there. All right, cool. All right, we come to Edward Mokaya. I think it depends on how different companies define furlough. I'm going through a furlough where I go 1 week off without pay every month. It's still a furlough.
Yes.
Your hours are reduced.
Yes, and
right?
that is right, Mokaya, because there's a company that I know, they give you 1 day. So you go in today, tomorrow you do not go, the other day you show up. So in other words, you end up going 3 days or 2 days or 4 days in a week. That's still furlough.
Yeah.
And you qualify for unemployment benefits, by the way. You could qualify as well.
Alrighty. Hilda Wangari, she's saying it depends on the job. If you decide to do something causes a conflict of interest with your employer, then you probably can't do both. I think she was referring to Charles Nyakure there, not necessarily ask question. Let's move on. Phyllis Manyara Getata, very informative topics. Today's thank you. Is our pleasure to present you this Prudential Show, giving you all this information, which is very much needed. Dr. Penny Jeroge, she's saying, hi, Georgie and Gina. Thank you for a much needed topic. Thank you so much, Reverend Dr. Jeroge. I'm looking to see whether we have any questions here. Kennedy Akel is saying very informative topic for those who are not aware. Thank you so much. Okay, there is a guy, I think some of these are your followers. Flam Prince Omara, well explained. Thanks, Georgie and Gina. Very informative. It's our pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. All righty, careful with PPP.
I love that.
Yes, I'm a CPA, and some clients have started getting in trouble over fraud. Can you expound on that? And if Fidel Chacha, do you want to expound on that?
Yeah, I can comment on that. Fidel, when I explained here, I don't mean fraud. You cannot do fraud in America. I personally have a degree in accounting. I've done finance. I know about SOX compliance. I know about GAAP. One fraud, you're going to jail. Your license can be revoked. You cannot do that. But what I was referring to mostly like how we mix our incomes and you end up from the business making money when you actually do not have any income. Because let's say you have a side hustle or you're working from your house, you're paying the rent, you're using your car, you're paying the gas, you're doing everything. That's how Kenyans do it. But then the business is benefiting by you working from the basement, but it's not paying the rent. It should pay the rent. It should partake of the expenses like gas, moving, and all of that. So when you separate them, then you realize actually you thought you made 10,000. You actually did not make 10,000. You made way too little because the expenses, half of the expenses that you paid out of your pocket were businesses. So when you don't mix them, then you will report income separately and you're a different entity from the business.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we have so much, and I think what we have to do is to make these maybe part 1 of part 2 of part 3, because we can answer all the questions that are coming off here.
Right.
But we might have to come back later and answer some of these questions, because I'm going to move to the next topic. And the next topic that we are going to discuss is those who have lost their jobs. And I said earlier, is it 33 million Americans? They don't have job, and the unemployment is about 15%. And if you can give us some of the resources some people can use, either you're being furloughed, laid off, you're told by your employer, just go home, come back after 2 months or 3 months later. What are some of the resources we can utilize, especially if you're just sitting home, waking up at 8 o'clock in the morning, going to bed at 9 p.m. at night? What can we do?
Right. That's, every day, my day-to-day vocation or work, I wake up, I talk with hundreds of people over the phone who have been laid off, who do not have jobs, who want me to help them get better opportunities. I work with all of these people every day. And what you're saying, Georgie, is real. I'm getting a lot of inboxes talking with people to a point where I feel like myself, I need a break to go and decompress because it's a lot of work. One thing I want to tell people before I even get to that answer to that question is that let's not freak out. I don't want people to freak out, Georgie, because the moment you are in this state of being anxious and you're worried and you feel confused, you are not sure about tomorrow, you're thinking about this COVID-19, which you have no control over. When you get trapped into that thought, it's like a loop of thoughts coming from hell. You end up making decisions that are not good. They are just rushed and not well thought through. So one, let's just stop freaking out because of COVID. COVID found us here. We had a life, it's gonna stay and it's gonna leave. Don't just rush into decisions because I've been laid off and now you're suddenly like almost getting a heart attack. It's life, it's gonna come, it's gonna go. Easier said than done, but hanging tight. There's power, there's more control over our lives than just the COVID. Okay. So when it comes to being unemployed, the resources of what you can do. I have been doing my show at the Gina Migai Show. I have published, I have even sent links where I give people access to things they can learn from Harvard University, from Stanford University, all these resources for free. You don't need to pay. While we are struggling and feeling like COVID is coming to break us, it has its own benefits. You are able to access trainings from Harvard for free without any pay just because of COVID. Okay. I did a show, Georgie, where I provided people with, I think, almost 15 things that they can start from home, working and making money out of it. Just a side hustle that you can start having an income versus just staying home, sleeping up to 8 a.m. and then going to bed and lazing around all day. Because when we don't have an income, when we do not have much going on, and the time is all that we have, because right now we have a lot of time in our hands. What you're going to do with that time is going to determine where you will end up the moment everything opens up. Today, there is a group of people super intelligent. I consider them very wise, who come to me every day, even now with COVID. After they received their stimulus check, they called me. And they're like, Gina, guess what? I received my stimulus check. I want to pay for your services so you can help me, package me, position me, write me a resume, coach me, and train me. Tell me what I need to sign up for so that this time I will start preparing and start applying. This is where the wisdom comes in. When things open up in a month, in 2 months, God knows when, all of the 30 million people who are jobless are going to start applying right away. The wise people who are wise, who know where they are going, who are proactive in building their career, this is the moment they are doing their preparation and application. When 30 million people are coming to start applying for jobs, their resume already got into the HR's desk when there is no traffic. If one position opens up, on average in the US, we get about 250 applicants for every position that opens up for a job. After COVID, when things open up, one position is going to receive about 3,000 resumes. So being wise is to not just sit at home, wake up at 8 p.m. When you are broke, Georgie, and this might sting a little bit, when you are broke, you cannot afford to sleep long hours. You need to get up and do some stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you. By the way, you speak a lot of wisdom, and that's why I love inviting you on my show, because you're very knowledgeable, you're very resourceful, and everything comes from your fingertips. And I'm gonna ask you this question. It might be a very hard question for you to answer.
Okay.
If unemployment, if I was laid off, for unemployment, what is better, unemployment or taking a pay cut? Because that unemployment, I heard that is about 13 weeks, maybe 20 weeks, if it go longer. Like, what is a better option here? If I have to get maybe that 1,000 check per week, which is, by the way, if your state's giving you like 400, I think they come with another 600 they're giving for those people who are filing for unemployment. What is the better way for me to do? Unemployment, taking a job cut, a pay cut?
Right. That's a very good and legit question, Georgie. So first of all, it depends with your position. Because if you're making minimum wage, if you're working in a CNA position, or if you're making less than $20 an hour, then getting unemployment is going to be almost more than your paycheck.
Exactly.
Right? But
yes.
If you're like my friend who is a PA, who got furloughed, and now she's getting $1,200 a week. $1,200 is like 35% of her income. That is way too little. Okay, those are not the only factors that we have to consider before you choose what to go by. There are other factors. If in this position, let's say my dream ultimate job, my ultimate goal was to work for Amazon, or let's say Microsoft. And so I just got in Microsoft. I really love my job. I love where my career is going. I'm just on the track. And right now I'm faced with an opportunity to choose whether I want to go all out for unemployment, or I want to get a pay cut. I will get a pay cut to get $100 a week at the place where I know my future is gonna grow and I have a lot to work with. Like, I have a whole entire career to build at Microsoft, and I'm not gonna be running after the money. And this is the reason I explained to you, I explained and said that we need to understand that money is just a tool. It's just like a car. Is a vehicle. It helps our lives operate better. It takes us where we need to go, but we cannot make decisions based off of money. You cannot choose, Georgie, to drop your career helping people, how you are on the front line doing beautiful, God heavenly work, and then you choose, I'm gonna quit it, and now I'm gonna get unemployment checks, and people are dying. You shouldn't choose money over your career. So don't just this decision should not come because of the money. Make that decision based on what is best for you. But if it's a job you don't like, you make way too little, you want to change your career, take unemployment, quit that job, and then start looking for a job within those weeks before your check is no longer coming. Then make sure you take that money you get from unemployment, pay a career coach, let them help you get to the job that you want, and then at the end of the day, it's you choosing yourself and winning for yourself and your family.
Wow, that is fantastic, Gina. And I have a compliment here from one of your clients, Jenny Kujiri. I know this lady, she's based in Seattle, Washington. She's saying, Gina, always doing her thing. I recommend her services. She helped me with my career path. Here I am, a bravo, a girl. Gina, if you don't mind, we're going to go on the chat box and see what people are saying.
Okay.
All right. All right. Somebody's here. Margaret Ngina Nzoma, she's saying, I'm a recruiter. It surprises me on how many people are willing to quit their job so they can apply for unemployment. I can only imagine what will happen when things stabilize. And by the way, I was looking at the statistics today. California, they're running low on their benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not permanent. It's only 13 weeks. If you're lucky, 20 weeks. So,
right. Can I comment on Margaret? I comment on Margaret? I think that is very, very accurate and very wise of her to share that. You have removed her comment. When people run for unemployment, thank you for putting it back. When you run for unemployment, it means that you are forgetting the big picture. Georgie, we take off at 100 miles an hour, running very fast to a direction we do not know. Because if you know where you are going, you wouldn't choose to take unemployment for 13 weeks and lose a job that is going to build you and pay you until you're 65, for crying out loud. So when we look at the money, and that's why I'm saying, don't look for the money, look for something beyond just the paycheck that you receive. Because when you look for the money, oh, I'll be getting $1,000 every week for free that I don't have to work for, and you run for it and you let go of a job, then guess what? 20 weeks later, you do not have no job, you do not have no income, and now you have to go in debt. Dumb decision.
Wow. You're alluding to, if you get a job, do your job, don't go for unemployment. Again, fight the money factor here. Thank you.
Keep your job. Don't fight to get free.
The job. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to the next question here. Somebody is asking, Lily Kimani, can you please pin the links to Harvard for the free training? By the way, I saw this training. They are free online. If you can Google them. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You go to the Gina Muigai Show, or if you click on my Facebook, my personal Facebook account profile, I posted them somewhere, and it's not even just Harvard. I shared quite a lot.
Okay, Fidel Chacha, he's saying, hi, Gina. Do you have any insights to investing an investment product, especially around this time. I believe you have a great opportunity to build wealth for generation if people started investing slowly. Stock market is still on the sale. Do you have any comments on that?
I do.
Yeah.
Fidel Chacha, you are correct. Right now, it's the Black Friday in stock market. Of course, things are starting to pick up, but still, it's a good time to get in. Right now, we are in 2020. We are living in an era where you do not need a broker to own stocks, to trade in the stock market, to sell, to buy, even to figure out what to buy. We have something very beautiful called the internet. And then we have somebody who started an app called Robinhood. That is a free tool where you just log in, connect your bank account, and then you can use your internet, or you can use DM. You can ask me what stocks maybe you can buy, or figure out someone who can help you with that. And all you have to do is just buy stocks and trade. If you really have a long-term goal, if you have $1,000 you'd never want to use at all at any given point, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to just buy 4 Facebook shares, one for me, one for my daughter, one for my whoever, and you just forget them. When you're 65, that 1,000 could turn out to be over $100,000. But yes, it's a good time to jump in.
Alrighty, George Nganga is asking what are some of the best recession-free business ventures post-corona. I want you to hold on this because we're talking about the last topic here. We're going to talk about what happens after this corona. Recession might come in about a month from now. Can you hold on that question? Hold on that thought, right? Okay, let's move on. Okay, Reverend Penny Jeroge, she's saying, thanks, Gina. Living your dream is running a short-lived money. You are great blessing to many of us. Best coach I could ask for. I deeply appreciate you. Thank you, Dr. Reverend Penny Jeroge, for watching this. We appreciate you for your services as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. And then somebody is here is asking, Alex and Jihia Gitome is asking, what is the name of the app for investing in stock? Didn't get that.
I'm gonna type it in here. You wanna check Tony Odeng's comment as I write the name of the app on the comment?
Yeah, it's Tony. You check whose comment? Tony Odeng. Tony Odeng. Yeah, that's my good friend, my choir mate. We sing together the choir. Love this man. He's good. I'm a musician. I have been called out here with a COVID-19. Is it Vivid or COVID-19? Okay, Vivid. Okay. What's your advice for me, for the musician? Are you singing to get paid? Are you doing it as a side hustle? Because we're talking about the side hustle maybe in the next 2 minutes. But do you have anything for Tony Odeng?
Oh, I did not understand what he means. I've been called out here, or he means he has been invited to go and perform as a musician. If that is what you mean, out here. Yeah. If that is what he means, he's been called, or and there's a job for him to go and perform, just go and practice.
I think he's talking more about the side gigs, like the musician. And we're going to talk about that. You guys have seen so many talents, whether it comes to the DJ, musicians, comedians on the Facebook. And me and Gina, we're going to talk about how to monetize about these things we are doing, you know. So let's move on, Gina. And the next thing I'm going to talk about you, this is very, very interesting. And this is one of the main thing that I invited you here for. If you can please tell us, what are the most of the hottest side gigs or the side hustles you can do if you're being laid off, if you're being furloughed, you're not making that big income you used to make about a month, 2 months ago. Let's talk about the gigs. Let's talk about the things you can be able to do.
Right. Okay. I will talk about that, and I want to give a disclaimer because the answer is not what most people will be expecting.
Yes.
First of all, when you are getting laid off, when you're getting furloughed, when you are losing a portion of your income like you have lived to know it as, one thing I want you to understand is that you just need to cut your expenses. Before you even figure out how to grow the income back, you need to cut your life expenses. Most of us, we come here to America and we get sucked into that bubble of chasing, trying to keep up with the Joneses. You want a new car, you need a new iPhone, you need to upgrade your whatever, you get credit cards. So you end up living a life that is beyond your means, and you kind of have to work two jobs, or you cannot afford to take a week off. You do not have like an emergency fund. So what COVID has come to do, I want to put it like Warren Buffett said, it's showing us who is swimming naked. Because if we have been all in the water, we think we are all good and we have swimsuit and everything, and then COVID come and hit, bam, you don't have an income and you have to lose your car. You have to lose whatever you had, which you did not own. So I want us to consider living within our means, not to overdo it, to not have, you don't have to prove to anyone that you can afford anything. If you cannot afford it, just take it back. Cut your budget, make your expenses the least, just live beyond, within your whatever you have left with. Now, what do you do, or what can you do to complement or supplement or have more money coming into your household? Now, Juju, this is why I'm saying it's not the answer most of us are expecting, because you do not make something work because you need to make money out of it. You make something work, you make a business work, you make a side hustle work because you want to provide solutions and value to humans who will compensate you with money for the value you give them. Exactly. So if I am going to tell you, one of the best side hustles to do right now is to cook and deliver food for people at home, but you do not even like cooking, it is not even your talent, it is not going to be easy. Side hustles are there, but they are not easy. It takes someone who has more than just the love of money to make it work. So the side hustles that you can do, or that would be a best fit for you, is for you to figure out what you are good at and what you are willing to stick at and just make it work. For instance, that guy said he sings, right? He is a singer and all of that. If there are people who are having events, virtual events, and they want someone to virtually entertain them, start a side hustle of being the entertainer who is going to tune in into the Zoom with your guitar and everything and entertain people in the meeting. Like kind of figure something out, okay? If you love cooking, because one thing that a lot of people with good ideas of side hustles do not start is wanting to start too big. We want to have a baby the first month by sleeping with 9 women instead of sleeping with 1 woman and having a baby 9 months later. And that math does not work. Life does not operate like that. No matter who you are, that child is taking 9 months, right? So you do not want to start high. Just start where you are. Do you love cooking? Absolutely, I love cooking. Right now, you're staying at home 24 hours in a day. Guess what? I have neighbors who do not love cooking, but they love chapati, Kenyan food. I'm going to start cooking. I'm going to start taking orders from my friends who are Kenyans who love my food. And every day, I'm going to deliver a type of meal in every household. You just need 7 people. You just need 7 people, and you will have 7 orders for each day of the week to have an extra income cooking chapati, something that you like. Okay? So you figure what you like, you figure what is workable for you, and then just go for that. And that will give you money if you provide value.
Wow. And what are the side hustles we need to do, whether it's cooking, DoorDash, Uber? Mm-hmm. Some of those side hustles that those people who are laid off, they need to be focusing on today, because they don't have money to pay for the rent for the next month. They don't have any mortgage for next month. Mm-hmm. What should they do today? Not tomorrow. They should start it tonight.
So tonight, they will start delivering food with DoorDash.
Yes.
They will start delivering groceries for people.
Yes.
If you go to places like Fiverr.com, where All you need is to know how to edit a picture. Like if we take our video here and you want someone to polish it and add something here and there, you just go at Fiverr and create an account, and you can do all those little techie things and get paid for it without even having to do anything. You don't need education. You just need to create a profile like you would on a Facebook page. Okay? You need to, the future is very, very techy. That's a point we actually should insist on. The future is very, very driven by technology, and therefore anything, any investment, whatever you want to do, please try to incorporate technology. Make sure it has some sort of technology incorporated in it, and that will save you from all of this hassle of being laid off. Because for you to get laid off, it means, first of all, there's a skill set. You have good skill set, they could pay you for it, but then they cannot afford you because what they are getting is not enough. Not everyone is getting no income at all. So make yourself very highly valuable, make your skill sets very valuable. That way they cannot lay you off, but even if they do, you can still use the skill set to get another job or to raise another income, to have someone come through for you in a different way. Okay, so side hustles, look at what you like. There's a lot of them. Just go at Fiverr.com. If you want to be taking pictures, people are getting paid just to take nice pictures and post on Instagram. Start doing that.
Yes, a lot of money.
Yeah, go at something like unsplash.com. If you don't want to be an influencer, take pictures and post them at unsplash.com. And guess what? If someone downloads that picture, because it's a free photo, you put it there for whoever want to use it. So if I am building a website, if I am creating a company profile, I go there and download that picture, it gives you points. And then after some time, you will start getting paid for that photo, because a lot of websites, a lot of businesses are using that photo and you're paying nothing. But a lot of people, a lot of us, we don't want to put in the work. Okay. Do you love cleaning? Everyone is at home. Everyone is overworked, having to stay at home with kids. How about you start coming to my house to vacuum my house, to clean up and even do the dishes 3 times a week, and I'm okay paying you $300 for $100 every day. And then look for another 2 people, you can go clean their houses and get paid another $300, and we're talking about almost the same amount you would get if you had a full-time job.
Yeah, I think what I'm hearing you saying is if I was doing this job, I got laid off, there's options. If I was driving trucks and I don't have any deliveries, there's options out there. And I want to add, and I say, because I looked at some research, some of the companies or some of the high hustles you can do, Uber Eats, DoorDash, Caviar, you become a personal shopper. Some of the old people, the vulnerable people, they don't want to get out there.
Right.
They're utilizing these people. They're telling them, come do my groceries and bring them here. I'll pay you. Creating contents like me and you are doing. We can get paid for these. This is like the TV. We're giving the people free TV. We can monetize this, if you have to, right? Teach. Zoom is another big thing here. People, they're doing conferences. They're doing all these consultations over the Zoom. So the options are there. So don't just sit there and say, I don't have any rent. I don't have any mortgage. I don't have any car payment. I'm waiting for me to get paid. I'm an employment check. There is options out there. What do you say, Gina?
A lot of people who will say things like that, and this is the reason I'm not even very quick and fast to tell them, oh, DoorDash, this and that. It is because we overthink them in our head that, Georgie, even if we give them a list of 50 things, chances are, at the end of the day, whoever had not decided to figure that out until we say it, they will not take any action. Because just taking the registration process to start delivering those groceries to our elderly person who you have never met, that already in your mind feels like a lot of work, and you end up doing nothing. And this is the reason I am insisting on, how about we start with where you are comfortable? You are a Kenyan. I understand we love Kenyan cliques. So if you have to do it the Kenyan way, how about you cook for all of your cliques? Because you cook good chapatis, cook for all of them and charge them $100 for every meal you deliver, right? So we should just think low from what we can do before we even start overthinking and seeing things that we can do that everyone is doing in the world. Because every time we do that, every time we start telling people to do that, we end up not doing anything. We said that with you last time, a year ago.
Yeah, Gina, I think we have got like about 55 minutes. We are not even halfway what we're about to talk about. I'm about to ask like a DJ to endelea ama tusiendelee, like what do we do? Maybe part 2 of this should come up. But there's a question I meant to ask you before, but I kind of forgot there. If you're being laid off, the employer have made a decision to cut you off. You know, there's no relationship out there between you and your employer. Do you need to tweak your resume a little bit for the next job you're gonna get? Do you need to fix something up there? Do you need to add more skills that you never added on your job because you really didn't care? You know, anyway, you had that job. What are we supposed to do if you're being laid off, again, furloughed, if you again told not to come to work for 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, 2 years? What are you supposed to do on that resume? Should we kind of tweak a little bit for the next gig for even better things to come?
Good question, Georgie. So this is what I want to say. It's that whatever is not growing is dying. There's no middle ground. It's either going up or going down, having life or losing life. Okay? Where you were before you got laid off, because there's a chance that they could never do without you and you were laid off genuinely, and there's a chance that you are easy to let go because you are not that competent. It doesn't matter. You get laid off. Where you left at, if you go to approach the next position from that angle, you're going to end up having the same type of results. So what you want to do, if you get laid off, if you're furloughed, if you do not have a job, even if you just have never had your job and this is the first time you are thinking of having a job, you have to package yourself based on where you are going, not where you are coming from. Because it doesn't matter, that is past and it's gone, it's important, but it's not going to determine how you get valued tomorrow. You position yourself based on where you are going. And this is where we lose a lot of people, because we focus on our experience, and that is how you find it's difficult for you to transition from healthcare into corporate, or to transition from being a bedside nurse into working as a nurse analyst on a computer without helping people directly and stuff like that. Because we put a lot of weight on where we are coming from instead of where we are going. We need to flip it. Where you're going should determine your actions today. And that is what is going to help you even making decisions like, should I get unemployment or should I just get a pay cut? Because if you know where you're going, that is not going to even take you 2 minutes to decide. You already know the path. Okay. When you have been laid off, when you need to get another position, even if there's no layoff, you have to upgrade your resume to move it to the next level. And most people who do not even have it professionally done, after this COVID, the competition is gonna skyrocket. There's a lot of people with good skill sets who have been let go because the company cannot afford them. And those people will be willing to take pay cuts, to take less income and all of that just to have a job. What you need to do as a minority worker, as a Kenyan immigrant, if you are a Kenyan immigrant or wherever you come from, you will need to upsell yourself like 5 times more than you ever did before. Because for the same position, you receive 250 applicants, you're going to get 3,000 applicants. And if you have a chance of getting that opportunity, or you might as well just convince me beyond any reasonable doubt that you are a good fit and I am making a good investment, when I can see other people who have the skill sets I'm looking for, but then choose to go by you. So from this point on, Georgie, having a professional resume, having professional interviewing skills, doing things like flawlessly, it will just be the only way we will be able to keep up with the workforce, because things are going to change permanently and we have to up our game permanently in return.
Wow, that's a lot of information. Thank you, Gina, so much. Let's move on to the next topic. And we are talking about sharpening your skills during this quarantine. I know many people, they're not going to work. Maybe you're just there watching 254 DJs. You're just there cooking. You're just there doing whatever you're going to do. But actually, in the real sense, you should be focusing on the next accounting class you should take, the next financial class certification you should be taking, the next CEU, continuing education, education you should be taking as a nurse or a respiratory therapist like me. There is so many stuff you should be doing on your computer rather than waking up 8 in the morning, going back to bed at 9 p.m., and doing a whole lot of nothing. There are so many ways you can be doing this time to sharpen your skills in your career. And when you go back there, you're going there with new skills. Go at it. I'm being real.
And I love that. I do love that, genuinely. So, to back up on what you just said, I'm going to piggyback on it and I'm just going to say it straight because you're sugarcoating it.
Yes.
I'm going to say that the problem that we are facing is not lack of opportunities. The problem we are facing is our own laziness and complacency. Because right now, we all have more time than we ever thought we could have in America, especially where everything runs 24 hours. But then this is like a third month into it. From March up to now, we are almost end of May, I mean. You find that you have acquired no skill, you have not done anything that is able to upskill you, to upgrade you in your career and get you a better income, to grow you and all of that. You find the problem actually is that we have not mastered the discipline, or our priorities are just flipped. Our priorities are not okay. We need to interchange them. Instead of staying at home, waking up at 8 a.m., and eating 4 times a day and having walks and not even showering until later in the evening, or when you have a Zoom meeting, what you need to do is to wake up. And instead of the same time you used to take to the office from 7 a.m. up to 6 p.m., how about you take that time and give it to Gina, to yourself? You give it to your future. You credit it to your own future. Because what we are doing today, Georgie, what I am doing today is what I will be living off when I am 95 and I cannot even remember my middle name. When I cannot work, when I don't have an income. So when you are lazing off 10 hours in a day, when you're waking up at 8 a.m., when instead of waking up at 5 or 6 and work 3 hours to 8 a.m., guess what you're doing? You're trading your future. When you are 85, you will have that time when you cannot even afford your own life. You cannot even afford your own medication. Maybe not even 85. What if Corona extends for the next 6 months? In the next 6 months, when you don't have an income, can you afford your own life? Chances are no. So when you understand that, then you will get up. Maybe you should even help figure out how to solve this Corona. Maybe come up with a whatever remedy from Africa that can heal Corona. If you know for sure, if it goes 6 months, you're gonna just die hungry. So stop spending all that time Netflixing. Your stocks are just shooting. Everything is happening online. Don't spend all that time doing Netflix, for the love of Christ. Take that time and learn free skills that you can upgrade. If you're in business field, start with something as simple as just being able to type 90 words in a minute. Because
Wow.
when I am working and I have to write about 60 emails in a day, I don't want to have to spend 3 minutes writing a 60-word email. And I don't want to have to look at my computer and my keyboard. I want to be able to look at something else when I am typing an email really quick. And by me saving myself all that time that I can type 80 words in a minute, and I can be able to send 2 emails, 40 words each within 1 minute, what that does for me, it frees my entire every minute I save, I put it back into the evening time when I can use that money, that time to build a skill, to do schoolwork, to do something else. So something as little, because we underestimate very little impact. A little thing as typing 80 words a minute can save you, at the end of your entire career, can save you 3 years of typing. Because we are talking about 40 years of work. And you save yourself about every minute. Every day you save yourself a couple of minutes. If you are in a nursing field, and you have all the free time, learn how Epic is done. Just learn the Epic stuff in and out. That when you apply for a job, they will actually request you instead of you being at the bedside care. How about you become our Epic consultant, teaching nurses how to utilize Epic? This is actually technology. In technology, you do not need the degree to work in technology. It's the only career field where your knowledge and expertise, your technical experience can get you a job that requires a master's degree without a master's degree. That's the beauty of living in 2020. You see, if you're in HR, learn about HRIS for some reason. Figure it out. Do something in your career field, and it may cost you so little. If you have a bachelor's degree and you don't even make 50,000, figure out why. Go find a career coach. Ask them. Let them know you have a bachelor's degree. You're making less than $60,000 a year, and you feel like there's a gap. Spend 2,000. Let them help you, so you will be making 80,000, and that 2,000 is gonna pay you more than you paid your tuition by getting a job that every year is gonna pay you way more. You see, so just do something. I did videos. I think 3 videos showing people what type of skills they can upgrade, and I posted them on my profile. If someone goes there, they'll be able to find them.
I feel like say telegal. Okay, yeah, that's good. Next thing I'm gonna say is if you have bachelor's, you gotta go for your master's, and you don't have a whole, you're not working, you're just home. Is this the best time to pursue your next degree? Because it might get you more competitive. Like, what is your take on that? Or built on however you have right now? Or what is your take on that?
There are times that people come to me, like I told you, I help a lot of people build successful careers. I'm very happy about it. Even after completing my doctorate, I hope to keep doing it. So there are people who come to me and I tell them, guess what? You need to get a job. You need to get to school and pursue this and that, because this is where it's going to take you and your future is going to look like this. And they have done exactly that. Same me, there are people who have come to me and they are already enrolling in their master's for the first semester or second semester. And I tell them, guess what? What you do need right now is to quit. Because the decision you are making, first of all, I was talking to this lady recently. She just completed her bachelor's degree that has lower chances of even making over 60,000, and with 90,000 worth of debt, and she was about to enroll into our master's program. And I'm like, nope, that's not what we want to do. Because if you are gonna continue on this path, you're gonna retire at 65 having not completed your debt. It's not just about acquiring education. It's not about degree. We have a lot of educated people here in America, Kenyans, who are working as taxi cab drivers. I pull them, Georgie. I've gone into the streets to get someone with a PhD, and I have to show them where they need to be in the corporate, or a CNA, and you have an accounting bachelor's degree. It's not about degree. It's about packaging and selling yourself in the job market. I don't know how to insist this. Whatever you do have, you can use it to get where you want to go. The goal is not for you to acquire more of what you have that is not working for you. That is academia or degrees. What you need to focus on is how to make the degree that you do have serve you. That way it can be able to serve you better to pay for your master's degree. Don't enroll for master's degree when you have a bachelor's that don't have a good job for you, because the problem is not education. The problem is your ability to utilize the tool that you do have. And that's where you come to me, and I will help you. I will package you. I will teach you how to interview. I will guide you each and every step until you get a job.
Wow. I think you tonight, this is what is called the tough love. You're speaking to a lot of people, a lot of people, they share the same sentiments. This is real, and people need to hear this often. This is what is called giving a real tough love. One question about the resume. We're going to go to the new grads, those people who graduated last week, the week before. And do you have to have a job-specific resume, or do you have to use a general resume whenever you apply for a job? Let's say I'm working as an accounting consultant. and I got this gig. I'm gonna be somewhere to be a strategic manager in a company. Do you have to tweak some of the little stuff in there in the resume, or do you have to use the same general resume? I started working 5 years ago. I have accounting experience. How do you advise somebody like that?
No, and that's why when we help a mentor, when we write people resumes, they look at it and they're like, "Are you talking about me? This is so perfect, so beautiful." Because George, you don't just go outside and start shooting in the air hoping to catch your meal. You see, at least identify. I don't eat a parrot. I'm looking for whatever, a dove. And then when you figure that out, then you will go shooting for that. You cannot use a generic resume to get an exceptional job. You cannot use an average resume to get a high level job. You use a mediocre resume, you get a mediocre job. And that's how you find that someone who has a bachelor's degree is an RN with a bachelor's degree, BSN, and they are making $45 an hour in the same hospital, same position, same unit, working together with a colleague who has done the same degree. They also have a BSN, but they are making 35. $12 gap difference between this person and this person, and they have the same job description. Because it comes down to the value you communicate that you're bringing into the organization. And that is how you need to have a strategic resume that is communicating a lot of value for the positions you're looking for. If you cannot do that, not many people can do that. For sure, not many people can do that. Find a career coach. You can come to me. You don't have to come to me. Look for someone who can just help you with that, and you're going to get a good job. You cannot use a generic resume, at least not.
Okay, there's a comment here from Josh Boss. He's saying, regardless of the field of practice, automation is taking over. Manual labor is slowly declining. Gaining skills in any field will be beneficial. Let's read some of these comments before I come to my last, topic there about the new grads who graduated about a week or 2 weeks ago. And your advice for them. Jen Okinyo Nyasuba, she's saying true. And somebody's saying, can you please send me a link? You're awesome, dear. The link is up. It's up here at the bottom, www.africg.com. You can see it. You see that line going on there?
Or they can just follow my Facebook and look through my profile. It should be there. That's easier.
Yeah. Or Dino Moigai show. Okay. Somebody's tagging somebody there. No generic resume. Good point. I think you have really nailed it tonight. You came armed and ready. Wow. Yes. Love it. Love it.
For those who don't have stock knowledge and don't want to be checking on it daily as it's safe, maybe I have $1,000 that is sitting in my account. Good question, Philip. So this is what I like to say. Oh my God, and my battery is running low. We might have to wind up pretty soon. So what I would want to comment on that, Philip, you do not wing it. This is the problem, and this is the reason Africa we are where we are, because we kind of want to do things Kyundudo style. Don't wing it. If you have no clue, learn about it. It's free on internet to learn all of that. If you feel like that is not your forte or whatever they call it, look for someone who knows how to do trading and ask for their advice, pay for their consultation. Don't chase things for free.
Okay. Last point, new grads. We end this show. We'll be going for about 1 hour. And maybe we have to come with part 2, part 3. What the advice you have for the new grads who just graduated? How are they going to be able to get into the labor market? It's very hard.
Right.
They're not there.
It's not easy. Not just for them. It's not just for them. It's just what the market is looking, but still, even though everything looks pretty difficult and hard, the market is still gonna get to higher. Right now, there are companies that are hiring a lot, especially in the banking, like for instance, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. I was actually talking to the manager in this region, and they will be coming. I requested them to come to my show so they can help all of us understand how to plan about money, managing money in this situation. I want them to come and help you guys, and they will actually be coming to Gina Migai show next week for giving us free advice. So you look at positions like that. Technology, IT related organizations, banking industry, and medical industry are still hiring a lot of employees. It's not that it's difficult to get jobs. Different industries are having different type of struggles. But then what you need to do as a new grad is to package yourself right. Just get that resume right. Get the interviewing skills right. Just get a career coach to help you with that. It's going to increase your chances very high. Instead of waiting for 3 years before you get a job, when you're trying to kind of wing it and figure it out on your own, when there's a lot of things happening, you already have student debt. Chances are you already owe the student debt. Take $1,000 extra, take $2,000 extra, and pay a career coach. Make your 20,000 become 22. But then you will increase your chances of saving yourself 3 years of tarmacking without a job.
Okay. Recession, it might come. What are your advice on that? If you're looking for a job, just graduated, unemployment, furloughed, you're working, what is your advice on those people?
I think what we should do, Georgie, we should just do a part 2 this week and talk about recession and follow up with that, because that's a whole topic that will require
dynamics.
Let's give people that gift. I offer to give.
Let us think. It's a lot of information, so let us think. And I think we'll be going for about 1 hour, so I think we should give people a break. We definitely should do a part 2 of this because this is much needed.
Yeah, people are saying we need a part 2. Yes,
part 2, because I was going to ask you about the new grads, what they need to do. I was going to ask you about the recession, what they need to do. The whole lot of stuff here we didn't even cover. The minorities and the recession and what they need to do.
That's
our people, and we're going to talk about, the 10 places that they're hiring. I know you mentioned about Wells Fargo, but I had some other places here. They're looking people to actually work for them. And Walmart is just a good example. They're looking for 150,000 nationwide. So I think that's we should do part 2, maybe.
Yeah, part 2 we can actually bring a list of companies to look for. I will guide them on how to upload their resumes. We are starting at AfriMentor to help connect people with jobs, where you come to our website, build a profile, and we can send recruiters, because they can look at it better if we send them. So we will talk about all of that in part 2, which I'm open to this week or whenever.
All right. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching this show. It's my pleasure for presenting you Gina Muigai tonight. As you have seen, she came armed. She came ready to fight. She came, with her knowledge. She did her research. So, and these are the kind of, the experts, because, my show, I rely on the expert to come here and give their expertise on this show. So I cannot thank you enough, Gina Muigai, for coming here tonight and sharing your knowledge with us. I appreciate you. And it's my pleasure hosting you tonight. I want to give you the final thoughts, and we can close this broadcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me here, Georgie. It's always a pleasure to interview with you. And for all of your followers, whoever need help in getting a job in the US, not in Kenya right now, mostly those who are in the US, you need a better job, you need career advice, just write me on inbox. I don't charge any consultation fees. I will advise you. I would guide you to the right direction. And yes, I am open for the part 2 so that we can help people. Recession is coming up. You guys, we don't want to just play. we need to start preparing, and we'll talk about that on the next session.
And bring your questions, inbox me, inbox Gina, write a comment below. And for that said, thank you so much for watching the Prudential Show today. Thank you, Gina. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Good